The monotony of the cubicle, the dreaded Monday morning alarm, and the soul-crushing meetings can even make the most enduring spirits question their existence. But let's take a step back and breathe for a moment. If you found yourself ensnared in a job that you hate,
Love my job.
You hate your job.
I love my job.
You're miserable.
I love my job.
and you have that feeling of dread on a Sunday, that lack of motivation and that disconnection that you're feeling, maybe it's time to make a plan for your escape. In a society so deeply embedded with the culture of productivity, the traditional 9-to-5 job has become the hallmark of success. From the moment we step off the educational conveyor belt, we are taught to aspire to a full-time stable employment, complete with a predictable schedule, healthcare benefits and a retirement plan. And we grow up idolizing these archetypes with the unspoken promise that if you work hard enough, that a life of comfortability and stability is waiting for you. But what if that well-worn path is not a road to utopia, but rather a maze that leads us to this monotonous cycle of work, sleep, eat and repeat? What if the narrative that champions a normal job as the epitome of accomplishment is outdated? This amount of money was left in the 29-year-old's bank account. His acting career wasn't really working out and he could barely afford his rent. One day, he watched a heavyweight title fight. The current reigning champion, Muhammad Ali, was facing his opponent, an unknown and an underdog. The fight was meant to be easy for Ali, but his opponent, Chuck, nearly caused an upset and he lasted all of the 15 rounds before finally getting knocked out. And this apparent nobody held his corner, battling through every round, and this event inspired the actor to write a screenplay about triumph and human spirit. And since he couldn't get any acting jobs, he wrote himself as the lead character. So he took pen to paper and it took him 3 days to finish the script. And on the set of his next audition, which was unsurprisingly a failure, on the way out he mentioned the script he wrote to one of the producers. They were curious and they offered him a huge check for the rights. But they had one requirement. They wanted someone else to play the leading role. In his mind, only he could play this character. And the producers actually thought this was a negotiation tactic, so they upped their offers. But as per the script, he wanted to live the moral of the story. So finally the producers relented on the condition that the film was kept on a low budget. The film went on to beat all expectations and winning 3 Academy Awards. That movie was Rocky, and the actor Sylvester Stallone. And I love this story because most people in his position would have given up, maybe on the 2nd or 3rd offer. But the problem in choosing what you want to do is deviating from what is expected from you, because our whole life we're being told to do this particular route. And like Stallone, he did not accept the traditional route. He questioned the narrative. And I myself was stuck in this narrative for the longest while. I had been shown and told this particular path and this path would lead me to happiness, which it did for a short period, and ultimately it left me a bit miserable. And it's only when I got to this state that I started questioning the narrative. Because up until a certain point, I've been sold one of the biggest selling points when it comes to finding a stable job, that being stability. And however, in recent economic downturns, we now know stability is kind of non-existent. And I remember being with a group of friends, and I'm not too sure how we got into this question, but I asked them, if you had no judgment, what would you be? What would you be doing? And the premise behind this question was because I think far too often we choose job titles or professions that sound fancy on the outset or on paper, and it doesn't actually align with us. Even if someone has got an inspirational story like Stallone, we can't copy and paste a formula that fits everybody. And many people harbour some type of resentment for their jobs. However, they choose to remain because it's comfortable and it's easy. The suffering outweighs the uncertainty of change. In other words, they come up with coping mechanisms to carry on what they're doing. But there's one thing Stallone had that really opened up his world, and that was wonder. With wonder, you shift from focusing on the worst case scenarios to possibilities. So because they have this wonder, their actions to an outsider may seem a little bit crazy. It may seem against the grain. But like Stallone, he has figured out what he values. Figuring out what you value means doing something that is meaningful to you. Maybe you value storytelling, sustainability, or healthy eating. Or in Stallone's case, a good story. And in these spaces, we can find opportunities. Another good place to start is, where do you naturally spend your time thinking? And for me, I'm in a creative space, especially for video. I could spend hours reading about shots, learning about directors and their thought process. The 9 to 5 is not inherently evil. It offers a framework that works for many people. But however, it's crucial to understand it's not the only path to success. Questioning the narrative allows us to be architects of our own destiny, rather than passive players in a game designed by others. So whether you're at the crossroads of your career, young or old, just keep in mind to dare to question the status quo. And who knows, you might find a path that is less well traveled that leads you to your dream destination. Anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please smash the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you want to say hello, comment below, and I'll see you guys in another one.